Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. In this video, we are going to learn how to create Xero invoice for new WooCommerce order. So I'm running an online store with the help of WooCommerce, which is an amazing e-commerce platform. And I want that wherever a customer is going to place a new order on my WooCommerce store, then automatically an invoice should be generated for that same customer, for that same order with the help of Xero. So how we are going to automate this entire process? For that, we have to set up the connection between WooCommerce and Xero, and that we are going to do without the requirement of any coding and programming skills with the help of Pabbly Connect. So if you also want to learn this amazing automation step by step, for that you have to come towards my screen. Welcome to my screen everyone. In this video, I'm going to show you step by step that how we can create Xero invoice whenever an order will be placed on WooCommerce store. So I am running an online business with the help of WooCommerce, that is an e-commerce store, and I want that whenever an order will be placed by a customer on my WooCommerce store for any of the product, for that same order I want to generate automated invoice inside Xero for record keeping and accounting purposes. Now here I'm going to automate this entire process by setting up a connection between WooCommerce and Xero, and that I'm going to do without the requirement of any coding and programming skills with the help of Pabbly Connect. So this is the home page of Pabbly Connect, where we can reach by tapping the URL pabbly.com/connect in our browser. After coming over here, you can find we have two options: sign in and sign up for free. In case if you are already an existing user, so you can directly click on sign in option, but if you are a new user, you have to click on this sign up for free button to create your free new account. Also, when you will do that, you will receive 100 free tasks every month to explore this amazing software and to test multiple automations. Now because I am already an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in. This is all app section where we can find all the products which are offered by Pabbly. To create this automation, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. So let's click on access now. And it has taken us towards the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. On this dashboard, you will find all your workflows which you have created, and you can also create different folders over here on the same dashboard to save your workflows separately and according to different purposes. Now, to create a new workflow, we have to click on this create workflow option, and here a dialog box is appeared in front of us. It is asking us to provide a name to this workflow. So first of all, I'm going to give a name over here. Create Xero invoice for new WooCommerce order. After giving the name to my workflow, here I'm going to select the folder in which I want to save my workflow. You can see I have multiple folders over here. I'm going to select this automations for financial management folder, and now I'm going to click on create. So my workflow, when I will complete it, will automatically save in the folder which I've selected. As we've done that, you can see that a new screen is open in front of us, which contains two important windows: trigger and actions. So what are these? Triggers and actions are basically the two main concepts or the principles, or we can say these are the building blocks on which the entire automation runs. The trigger says when this happens, and the action says do this. That means the action is a response towards our trigger. Whatever we are going to select in our trigger is going to command the entire workflow, and the actions are going to follow that same command. Therefore, we can have only one trigger in any workflow, but we can add as many action steps as we want. Now let's suppose here my objective is that whenever a new WooCommerce order will be placed in my store, then immediately according to that order, according to the product and all the details, a new invoice should be generated inside Xero for that same order. Okay, when we are going to set up the connection between these two applications, we can clearly see that action is going to follow what the trigger commands, because when the trigger happens, that means when the order is being placed inside WooCommerce, then only the invoice for that order will be generated and will be saved in Xero, otherwise not. So after understanding the whole concept of trigger and action, let us quickly start creating our automation workflow. And for doing that, for starting the workflow, we have to go towards our trigger step first of all. Here we have to select our trigger application, that will be WooCommerce. So let's select that quickly. Then we have to select the trigger event. Trigger event is the event on the happening of which the workflow is going to trigger or it is going to start. You can see we have multiple options over here in our trigger events. On the happening of whichever event you want to run your workflow, you have to select that, because our objective is that whenever a new order will be created inside WooCommerce, then the workflow should get triggered, because we want to capture the response. Okay, as we have selected the trigger event, you can see that here we have received a webhook URL, and here are some instructions which we have received, and we have to follow these instructions step by step to set up our connection between WooCommerce and Pabbly Connect. And we have to do this with the help of webhook URL, because it is going to act as a bridge, and it is going to transfer the data from WooCommerce towards Pabbly Connect whenever new order will be created. So let's simply copy the webhook URL, and then I'm going to tell you exactly what we are supposed to do. As you all know, WooCommerce is the plugin of WordPress. So first of all, we have to open our WordPress site, and then we have to go towards the settings section under WooCommerce over there. So I'm going to take you towards my WordPress site, and over here you can see, because WooCommerce is the plugin of WordPress, refresh, so we are on the WooCommerce tab from the left side. Okay, under WooCommerce here we can see the option of settings, so let's select that. After coming on settings option from the top, we can see the option of advanced. Let's go towards it, and here we have to select the option of webhooks. So let's select webhooks as we are setting up the connection with the help of webhook. Okay, now we have to simply click on add webhook button to add and create a new webhook. And in order to create this new webhook, we have to enter certain details. First of all, we have to provide a name to our webhook. For whichever reason you are setting up this webhook connection, you have to give the name according to that. I am creating this connection because I want that whenever a new order will be placed inside my WooCommerce store, I want to capture the response. So here I'm going to select new order created as my name of the webhook. Then we have to select the status of the webhook, and that will be active. So we have activated the status. Then we have to select the topic. That is very important step. Topic is basically the event on the happening of which you want to capture the response. Same as the trigger event, we have to select order created over here. Okay, done. Then we have to enter the delivery URL, that on which URL you want to capture the response. We want to capture the response on the webhook URL which we have copied from Pabbly Connect. So we have to paste it over here. Then simply we'll click on save webhook. Now, as we have done that, you can see that our webhook is updated successfully. It is showing over here. Let's go back towards Pabbly Connect. Here we have already received a response. This is a test response, that is webhook ID. This means our webhook is set up successfully. So now in order to capture the response, we will simply click on recapture webhook response button. And here it is showing waiting for webhook response. This means that now we have to do a test submission. How we are going to do that? By creating an order inside WooCommerce, so that the response of that order and all of the details should be captured over here in Pabbly Connect. So once again, I'm going to take you towards my WooCommerce store. Okay, this is my store which I'm running through WooCommerce, and on the purchase of any of the product over here, I want to capture the response because I want to generate invoice for that. Okay, so let's suppose I'm going to purchase this chair. So alright, so I'm going to click on add to cart, and here I'm going to make a test purchase by adding some dummy details so that the response could be captured inside Pabbly Connect. Here I'm going to click on proceed to checkout for this chair, and I will enter the details over here in order to place this order. So let's say the name of the customer who is purchasing this order is Smart Customer, and let's say the company name is New Company. Here the country is already selected. I'm going to change the street address from Old Street to New Street this time, and let's say the apartment or the building is 124. Alright, town is already selected as Indore. Here's the state, here's the pin code. Now I'm going to change the email address as well as the phone number. So let's say the phone number of the customer is this, and I'm going to enter a random email address, smart67@pablytudes.com, and we will simply click on place order. Now the method of the payment is cash on delivery, so the order will be placed, and here you can see that the order is placed, and this is a summary of the order. So we have placed the order for a chair, and the quantity is also given over here, amount as well. Let's go back towards Pabbly Connect. Here we will wait for a few seconds, and you can see that immediately the response is being captured. In this response, when we will scroll down, we will find all the details of the order, the product which is being purchased, as well as the details of the customer. So here you can see we have received the customer details such as first name, last name, address. Here we have received the state, the pin code, and other details. Here we have received the method of the payment. We have received the amount to be paid, and here we have the name of the product which is being purchased. Okay, so by using these details, now we are going to create the invoice for this particular order inside Xero. So Xero is basically a cloud-based accounting software platform which is designed for small and medium-sized businesses. It provides a range of accounting and bookkeeping features to help businesses manage their finances, streamline processes, and improve financial visibility. Okay, so here with the help of Xero, you can automate the process of financial management for accounting purposes, bookkeeping purposes, and record creation. So Xero has some amazing features and benefits such as expense management for businesses, financial reporting. You can create various type of financial reporting over here with the help of Xero, and also you can manage your projects and businesses easily. So here we are going to use Xero for generating the invoice in our use case. We are going to go back towards Pabbly Connect, and we are going to set up the connection between Xero and Pabbly Connect, so that whenever a new order will be placed on our e-commerce store, that is WooCommerce, then immediately on the basis of the order, on the basis of the product as well as the customer details, an invoice will be generated. Okay, so let's select our action application as Xero over here. Then we have to select the action event, that will be create an invoice. Let's click on connect. For building the connection, you can see I've already logged into my Xero account. So what I will do, I will go towards add new connection option, and here simply I will click on connect with Xero. In case if you already have an existing connection, you can also go with that, but then too you have to log into your Xero account before making this connection. Let's click on connect with Xero. and here Pabbly Connect is requesting us for the access of our Xero account. This is my organization data, and here's the user account information. After reviewing these details, I'm going to simply click on allow access, as our data is 100% safe with Pabbly Connect, so do not worry. Okay, as we have done that, we can see that our authorization has become successful, and with this our Xero account is successfully connected with Pabbly Connect. Okay, after building the connection, we have to enter the details in these fields so that the invoice could be generated. And because we are automating the process, so we are not going to enter the details over here manually, but we will simply map the data which we have received from our earlier response by using our previous response, so that the data could get changed automatically. Now, first of all, we have to select the organization over here, which is already selected, and the type over here will be a sales invoice, because we are generating a sales invoice. That means whenever a sale will be made inside WooCommerce, when a product will be purchased, then we want to generate the invoice. Okay, then we have to enter the name of the customer, for which we have to generate this invoice, invoice number, email address, date of invoice creation, due date, reference, etc. So one by one we are going to enter all the details. First of all, let us enter the name. As I told you, we have already received the details of the customer as well as the order in our earlier response. We are not going to manually enter the details over here. We will simply map the data by using that earlier response. Okay, when we insert the data from our previous step, it is called as mapping. So here is my previous step, and you can see that these are all the details which we have received from our earlier response. Here, because I want to enter the name, when I'm going to search for the name of the customer, you can see here I have received the first name as well as the last name. So when we are going to select the first name, and here I'm going to use a space, and I will enter the last name as well. So we have mapped this data. So when we have mapped this data, that means it is going to replace automatically whenever a new response will be captured from WooCommerce. So when the workflow is going to run in real time, as soon as a new order will be placed inside WooCommerce, automatically the details which we are going to map in this workflow are going to replace, and in this way we are going to automate the entire process of generating invoices inside Xero whenever a new order will be placed inside WooCommerce. In case if we will enter the data manually like this, as we have selected the data manually from the drop down, so it has become static, and then it is not going to replace each time. Okay, so I hope you have understood the step of mapping, because it is very important. Then we have to move forward, and we have to enter the invoice number. I'm going to leave this field as blank because I have not received any invoice number from my previous response, but if you want, you can also enter the data over here. Then we have to enter the email address of the customer for which we are generating this invoice. I have mapped the email address. Then we have to enter the date, and the date should be in the given format, that is year, month, and the date along with the time. So let's see whether we have received the date in the same format or not. I'm going to search for the date in the previous response, and here is the date created. That means the date on which the order is created. So here we can see that yes, the date is received in the correct format, year, month, date along with the time. So we will simply map this date without changing it. But in case if in the response you have not received the date in this same format, then you can also format that, then you can also change the format of your date with the help of date time formatter. Now if you want, you can also give a due date to your specific invoice, that up till which date you want your customer to submit the payment. Here, because I want to receive the payment as soon as I'm going to generate this invoice, so I'm going to keep the due date as blank. Then here you can also enter the reference, line item type. So here we have three options: line items are inclusive of tax, or line item have no tax. So here I have selected line have no tax. Okay, then you have to enter the currency code, which is already selected as Indian rupee. Okay, then we have the currency rate, that what is the rate of your currency. I'm going to keep this field blank, but if you want, you can also enter the rate of the currency. Again, in the status we have four options over here: voided, authorized, submit for approval, or draft. I'm going to keep the invoice status as draft over here. Send to contact, then yes, have selected true over here. Here we have line item description, that means we have to enter the title or the description of the product for which we are generating this invoice. So I will simply map the name of the product which we have received. So the name of my product is chair, so I've mapped that. Here we have to enter the quantity for which we are creating the invoice. So the purchase quantity is 1. Single product is being purchased over here. Line item unit amount, what is the amount of per unit item. So the per unit price of the chair is 3,500. I have mapped that. Then we have line item code. I'm going to turn this mapping button on, and I will simply delete the existing data from here. So I do not want to enter any code for each of the product, because there are multiple products which are going to be purchased inside my WooCommerce store. Then we have line item account code, so it is already selected as sales. Here we have line item tax types, so I'm going to select tax exempt over here. Then we have line item tax amount. If you are If you're charging a tax amount, you have to enter it over here. Line item amount. Then you have to enter the discount rate if you are going to provide any on the product which is being purchased in this field. And you have to enter the discount rate as well. Okay, then I'm going to ignore these fields for now because these are not mandatory. And I will simply click on Save and Send Test Request button. As you have done that, here we have received the response, and in this response you can see that we have received all the details. Along with these details, we have also received the contact ID and the ID of the invoice. That means the invoice is successfully created, and here the status is also given as okay. So let's go towards Xero and we will check whether invoice for smart user is created or not. So here we'll go towards the business section, and here we have invoices over here. When we'll go to the invoice section, you can see that yes, in the all invoice section, a new invoice is recently generated with the today's date, and you can see it is generated for smart customer. So I'm going to open this invoice to show you whether all the details are entered over here correctly or not. And you can see that yes, all the details are added over here. Here we have the description of the product, that is chair. The quantity is also added over here. Price and the total amount which is to be paid is also given over here. Okay, we have the tax exempt rate as 0% because we have selected it the same. Now this means that our connection between WooCommerce and Xero is absolutely successful. Okay, this means that now whenever a new product will be purchased inside WooCommerce on our store, then immediately an invoice will be created for that same order automatically inside Xero. Okay, so here once we have set up the connection successfully, I'm going to take you back towards my WooCommerce store, and we will check this workflow once again in real time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to purchase another product on my WooCommerce store. Let's say I'm going to purchase this wallpaper, floral multicolor wallpaper. So I'm going to click on Add to Cart button, and here I will quickly click on Proceed to Checkout. And I'm going to enter all the new details this time. Let's say this time the name of the customer who is purchasing this product is Dummy Customer, and here the company name is, let's say, Dummy Company. I'm going to change the street address of the customer, 129 New Street. Let's say the town this time is Bhopal, and the state is already selected with Madhya Pradesh. I'm going to change the pin code as well, and I'm going to change the phone number as well of this customer and the email address, dummy59@pabblytudes.com, and I will simply click on Place Order. As we have placed the order, let's go back towards Xero and we will check for this dummy customer for the floral multicolor wallpaper if the Xero invoice is automatically created or not. So I'm going to go back towards Xero. We will go towards the invoice section once again. And yes, here you can see that automatically a new invoice is generated for the dummy customer over here. When we will open this invoice, we can check that all the details are automatically added. This is the amount to be paid by the customer. Here's the name of the product which is being purchased, floral multicolor wallpaper, and the quantity as well. This means that our connection is absolutely successful and our workflow is also running fine. So let's quickly summarize what we have done over here in the workflow. We have taken very simple steps: trigger and action. In trigger, we have taken WooCommerce, and in action, we have taken Xero. And we have set up the connection between these two applications in such a way that whenever a new order will be placed inside WooCommerce store, then immediately an invoice will be generated and will be drafted or will be saved inside Xero for that same customer. Further, you can also send this invoice to your customers. So this automation is really helpful for you for financial management. I hope this video is helpful for you and it is clear to you. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but you can integrate multiple such applications without any coding or programming skills with the help of Pabbly Connect. Now, if you have any doubt, you can reach out to us at support@pabbly.com. If you want to ask any query, you can reach out to us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issue, you can reach out to the website given over here. Now, if you find this video helpful, do not forget to share it with your friends. And also please like our video and subscribe our channel for more such amazing automations.